I've been looking forward to this ever since we scheduled it. When I
Yes.
decided to do this, you were like one of the top people that came to mind for real.
Oh, that's such a blessing, seriously. And the thing with me is like I am a little bit more open and more public now, but like I always wanted to like stay underground and like no one know anything and just that was like one of my biggest blessings when I found this business because I'm like you don't have to post anything, you don't
Yeah.
have to beg your friends and family for business, you don't have to just do it like you just need to be a deal finder and that's been our biggest blessing. So I'm like, now, obviously, like for the last few years, I decided to like be more open about it because I'm like, you know what? I need to do the Lord's work and like go and grab more people and tell people like there's another way. Like there's not just only, working a 9 to 5 or owning a business, which is what I come from, owning a business and, being a slave to it because like you still had to get up really early, be in the store, for me at least, be in the store all day and not have the weekends off. And like, I'm like, wait a second, did I just get like a really expensive job? Because at least
Yeah.
at my 9 to 5, I worked just Monday through Friday and I didn't have all the overhead stress. So once we found wholesaling, it was like, huh? Like we could have the best of both worlds. Like, don't get me wrong. And anybody who's listening to this, like, this business is not easy. It's simple, but it's not easy. But it's whatever you make out of it and what you want out of it. So that's what I love about this business so much.
Me too. I love it. Everything you just said just hit my heart.
Yes,
Uh,
yes,
I'm like you. I'm really low key. I don't like to like put myself out there. When I first started, I was like you. Nobody knew what I was doing. I just was put my head down and did the work. How
yep.
did you get over that? Like, what made you? Because I know recently you've really been putting yourself out there. So
Yes,
how
yeah.
how did you get through that?
I'll tell you, Brent Daniels, when I did my first ever interview, which I was so afraid to be finally like to come out there, right? So that was in January of 2023. And I've been doing this business all underground since 2019 is when I really found it. And I just closed like a couple of deals just because my store was it was like the ending of that chapter and I stumbled upon wholesaling and then I found Brent in 2020 and that's when my mindset changed for the better and because I was so broken from the devastation of losing my business and
Yeah.
like having to start all over again and having to work a 9 to 5 again and all of these things. Anyway, so I vowed just like you, like put my head down, got to work, got ourselves out of our hole and like charged interest, if you will, with everything that we lost. And in 2023, by the grace of God, we hit our first $1 million in revenue wholesaling. And because you were part of TTP and everything, and you had in the beginning you had Brent for like only 6 months, and then from there you kind of just went away. But now he has it open for all the alumni and all of this
Yeah.
stuff, which is such a beautiful thing to see, like newcomers into his mentorship and stuff like that. And we get to still kind of be there to be like, hello, this is where I was there and look at
Yeah.
us now, that kind of thing and say, this is real. So anyway, I sent him a text message because I still have his phone number, which I don't abuse that number, but I still have his direct number. And I text him and I'm like, Brent, I just want to tell you, like, I'm forever thankful. My family and I, and he was like, and I said, we hit the million. I can't believe it. And it's true what you said. Like, because when I first met him over the phone, I told him, I was like in tears telling him how devastated I was to lose it all and
Yeah.
have to, start all over again and be at -0, all of these things. And he was like, Mara, this is just like, this is the beginning of your story, right? But at the time, I was still so broken and I didn't really believe it. Like I kind of held on to that, but like I didn't have money, I didn't have anything but just faith. And
Yeah.
him telling me, you can do this. Anyway, so I wanted to give him a thank you because I know that even being a mentor, like it's a selfless job, right? Like you have to consistently, like, pat everybody in their back and say, yeah, you're doing a great job. But like you as the leader, who's doing that for you? So I wanted to give him that and say, you know, we did this, whatever. He was like, excuse me, you're coming on my podcast. I was like, no, I'm not. I'm like, I'm not going public. No, I don't want anyone to know. I love this business. I don't want anybody. He was like, shut up, you're going on. And that's when that happened. That's when he was like, you need to go back now and get more people. So your story, it's not about you. It's not about, oh, you went from this to this. It's about telling someone else out there that's going to see this story and say, you went from being bankrupt, from being negative zero, losing it all, and putting your head down, like you said, right?
Yeah.
And getting yourself out of there and getting your family out of that situation. And now look at you here, So that was why I said, fine, I'll do it because I am a giver, like a go-giver. Like I always want to help people, sometimes to a fault, but I always want to help people. And so that was why I went public. And I've been ever since, I'm like, it's been my journey. It's hard, to go out there. And I still, sometimes when I post, I'm like, I sound crazy, forget it. I don't want to do it. But then I'm like, no, because I get so many private messages of people
Yeah.
saying, you cheer me up, like your craziness. Like I just know that someone just regular like that if you can do it, I can do it. And so that's been my journey. And look, and now I'm here, on your platform. And I feel so blessed. And I think it's just God just saying, keep going, girl.
Yeah.
You Amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome. And big shout out to Brent. Just Brent, he's been a lifesaver for a lot of people,
Yeah.
Um, that's really cool. So your Facebook is just, I watch your stories. You provide so much value. You did a video the other day where you were talking about, I might be mistaken, but you were talking about how you had a deal, and then the buyer just was like, "Hey, I'm not buying anymore," right? Could you talk
Yes.
about that?
Oh, Jesus. This is something that's right now in January of 2025. We are rocking and rolling they've been close to me. We've been working together on and off since like 2020, on and off, whatever. They're not like my VIP. Well, they are, but not really, right? Like,
Yeah.
so I have one buyer that I really pump a lot of off-market deals to them. But this company, on and off. So they're a big time company. And all of a sudden, we have two deals right now in escrow. And they're like, hey, Mara, sorry, we didn't meet our quota for last year, what we wanted and whatever. So we're holding off. And, I need an extension until April of 2025. I'm like, are you joking? I'm like, there's no way. My sellers are expecting this, again, with wholesaling, it's all about time, convenience, speed,
Yep.
all of that. Time is of the essence, or else, I'm sorry, they have other options. They can go with somebody else.
Yeah.
Or especially they can, go with a realtor and, whatever. So they want the money fast. And that's the reason why most, sellers come to us because we provide that speed, convenience, and the money right away, so yeah, so I was like I was kind of like, hey, sorry, take it or leave it with from my buyers. And then I'm like, luckily I did find an alternative. I found another buyer right away. And so we're still, thank goodness. One of them was supposed to close this week, but they like me again, building that trust with your sellers is my number one priority. My sellers really, really do love working with us, and we treat them with the utmost most respect, and we love our sellers. We want to get them out of their situation. And so they agreed to extend a little bit. So God willing, we're closing the first week of February. And that was scary. And, as a wholesaler, we're problem solvers, and not only for our sellers, but for our buyers. And we need to deliver,
Yeah.
and that's always my mission and my goal. I will I will climb mountains to get it done. And thankfully there's another buyer, and we're projected to close the first week of February. But yeah, I wanted to share that because it's so important that we also share the ugly side of this business. This business is very lucrative. It's amazing. It's life-changing. I literally feel like I won the lotto. I've never won anything in my life, but like I'm like, okay, I won the lotto. Like this is what they feel. Like when we watch that on the news, like that jumpy feeling, that's the feeling that I feel. So I'm like, I can relate, you know?
Yeah.
But the ugly side is that, right? If your buyer leaves you hanging, what do you do? You know, and my buyers are extremely vetted. I do not work with just anyone, no offense, but you know, again, when I sign that, or my company signs that contract with my sellers, it's to do what we say.
Yeah.
Okay, unless there's something, you know, wrong with the property, but
Yeah.
not because, hey, Mara couldn't find a buyer. I'm sorry, I'm not going to put it under contract. If that's the case, I'm not going to do it, you know.
But
So
that's awesome. And that's obviously why you're so successful, because when you run into problems, you don't give up and you say, well, what can I learn from this and how can I fix it? Right.
yeah. Mhm.
Um, so
Yes.
how did you find the buyer? Did you like, is this people you
Oh,
knew? Did you pull a list?
so my Propstream. I love Propstream. Propstream is my, I call it my baby, my second baby. I only have one child, but that's my second child. And Propstream, you know, they have also changed my life because that's where I find all of my buyers. That's where I find all of my off-market properties. I call myself a data sniper when it comes to data because this business, as you know, it's all about data
Yeah.
and pulling the data, and time is of the essence. So you can't just pull a data and just say, okay, I'll see you next year. No, you know, like, yeah, you could probably find a deal, but like we are skip tracing, marketing, all of that stuff. So immediately I went back. So what I did was I plugged my property address and I went back to that area and I found the other buyer. And I was like, oh my goodness, great. So, like you said, one negative turned into a positive because they were so ecstatic to find me. They were like, where have you been all my life? You know?
Yeah.
And I've told them like all of the, you know, the different deals and the situation without throwing my other, because I really do love them, but unfortunately, like I have a business to run, you know? And they were just like, send me everything, you know? So I will still, because I'm a loyal person, so I would still probably send it to my initial buyer first and see what's up. If they can't do it, then they'll be my second backup, you know? But yeah, PropStream is where I find almost, if not all, of my buyers. They're vetted because what else do we need? Like we can see when they closed. You know, we can see that they are truly active. And PropStream is so easy because you could also see how many properties that, you know, buyer has. So it's awesome. It's the way to be. I can't,
Yeah.
if PropStream were to go away, I would cry. You would see me crying on social media.
PropStream is awesome.
Yeah.
So that's how you get your buyers and that's how you get your list for your sellers. Give us some secrets here. So how are you filtering these lists? Do you prefer a certain type of list?
Yeah. Okay. So with my list, I always start at high equity. For me, and always been, I don't start doing, you know, any creative kind of situations. There has been, I mean, we are over 200 deals, and counting. But you know, so of course, there's some deals that have kind of fall through and been like, oh, it started off as high equity, but now it's almost like subject to
Yeah,
or something weird. And I, to be honest, I just don't deal with those. I
sure.
refer to the professionals. I am a professional at wholesaling, literally houses and land and mobile homes that have equity. Why? When we get closed, my buyer gets their beautiful property, okay? My seller gets their money, and my company gets our assignment fee.
Yeah.
And my title company gets their money. And goodbye, adios. We have no attachments after that,
No
right?
strings attached.
Yes, I like a nice, clean, easy peasy deal, and that's why they don't come all the time, right?
Yeah.
But one deal might bring us 30 and $40,000, you know? So I don't need to be running ragged and doing 10,000 deals. And I don't want to anyway. My life is too, my time is very precious for me. So I start with high equity, and then from there, I start looking for some problems. Okay. But I try to see, I typically like to know what my buyers like, right? So if there's a specific zip code, if there's an area, if there's a county, I always go there first, and then I go with no more than like 2010, the built. Okay,
Okay.
so the built of the house or whatever, I never go higher than that. I truly like to stay no more than like 2001. That's
Mm.
my little secret. Um, and what else? And then I first look to see if it's non-owner occupied. And then I look for like liens, right? Tax delinquent, if there's probate, if there's code violations, all of those situations that's putting up a red flag
Yeah.
underground. Sometimes you may drive in front of the property and it looks beautiful outside, but we don't know what's cooking inside. Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
So we don't judge a book by its cover. So with that, PropStream allows me to identify that there's some problems, right?
Yeah.
People typically they don't want to not pay their bills. There's a
Yeah.
problem here that's happening. And
Yeah.
so we go into those situations and just call and find out if they'd be interested in selling. So I like to have a stack list. So recently in 2023, that has helped us tremendously is REI Sift. So REI Sift is an amazing platform that helps you stack the already list that you have.
Mm.
So I have like 200,000 records, right? Well, obviously, not all of them are going to be a best fit.
Yeah.
Throughout the time, people change, they refinance, they do this, or they sell, or whatever it is. But what REI Sifts helps me to do is say, okay, John Smith at 123 Main Street started off high equity, non-owner occupied, but now he has a lien, and then he has a divorce, and then now there's a pre-foreclosure. So I'm able to instantly within 30 seconds identify those lists. And it may only be 100 of those. That's all I
Yeah.
need. That's all I need, and then yeah, so definitely stacking your list. But for me and my business, it always starts with high equity and then we go from there. I typically like them not to be in the property, but there's been a lot of them that are in the property and they still need to get the heck out of there. So
Yeah.
I, oh.
Yeah. That's awesome. I seen the
I told you a lot without giving you all my secrets. No, I'm just kidding.
No, that's awesome. You gave so much value there. You can definitely,
Okay.
anyone listening, that will definitely help them, if they take action and do it. One thing that I love about you is that it's like a family business.
Yes, it's just my husband, my son, and one VA that is like the main person. And then we have VAs in and out sometimes, okay, because
Yeah,
business is not okay. But one VA that's been with us since 2020, and I'm very proud. She's from the Philippines. I love her. I love her family. We still keep it separate because business is business. Business
yeah,
always comes first, and you need to produce if you want to stay with me. But yeah, we run a very tight ship here because profit first. So I don't, I don't, like I told you guys, I don't like to be running ragged. I don't want a big operation with 50,000 people. No, 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 no. I like it nice and small, all virtual. We all work from home and it's just wonderful for us. It fits our model, lifestyle, all of it. So we love it that way.
love it. That's the way I like it too. And the more I interview people and talk to people who are successful, I find that the ones who are really happy and the most successful are the people with the smallest teams and they're taking in all that money. They're not
Yes,
trying to do 1,000 deals this year. They keep it small, keep it all.
yes,
So I
yes.
love that. That's what I'm telling you. I watch your stuff and I'm just like, man, this girl's got it going on. She knows what she's doing. She's got a family that supports her and it's just awesome to see.
Yes. Yeah.
It
Yeah, I
really
can't
is.
complain. My husband does still in our area, he still from time to time, we started, to be honest with you, our first start was with bandit signs and we still
Wow.
do it. Okay. And anybody who knows bandit signs, that is a big job.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a huge job. So my husband is in charge of bandit signs, driving for dollars, and door hangers. So while he's there, he's already kind of like I'm already here. I might as well put a door hanger, or I might
Yeah.
as well, put it into Propstream, which is where, again, that's why I love Propstream, because they have the mobile app for free. And yeah, so he's the one who does all of that. He just doesn't like to be public. And I begged him to come on here, show people like how you're doing. He's too shy. So again, not everybody wants to be out in the front, out here publicly, but he's the one who does a lot of our back end stuff that nobody really knows about and sees. So I've been very fortunate. Like I said, once we lost the store, I got a 9 to 5 temporarily for about a year until we could dig ourselves out of the hole. And then we went full force, but my husband never got like a job or nothing. So my 9 to 5 supported our house just for now. We obviously downsized everything just to save and get ahead, and that's exactly what we did. So we've been literally, like, I would say full time wholesaling since 2021, and my family depends on this. Like, there's no other, we don't have a plan B. We don't have a plan C, B, C, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Like, no, we need to close deals in order to survive and to build wealth. And now we're going into Section 8, which has been very scary, but a great journey. And I just can't believe that, like, since our loss of 2019, and it's 2025, and we already are starting to plant seeds. It's almost like unbelievable, actually, because, people who have lost it all and have had to like restart again, it takes them years to do that, right?
Yeah.
That's why I scream it to the world, because I'm like, wholesaling, like you said, like, you don't need $1 million, you don't need 10 million, you don't need all of it, right? Like, even 100 grand that you make a year, you're already great. Okay.
Yeah.
And imagine doing it like even part-time, like you could still keep your job and do this. Like, freaking awesome, and again, you don't have to beg anybody to make sales. You don't have to beg people to do business with you. You just need to find deep discounted properties. And believe me, these buyers will be, no offense to you buyers, I love you, but they'll be on their knees and begging you for those deals, okay?
Yeah.
And throwing money at you, as long as it's a good deal. I mean, really, what more can we ask for? You
That's
know?
true. Well, it looks like we're running out of time here.
Okay,
I
no problem.
appreciate you so much. You really, I mean, you're just amazing. You're a superstar. And your husband needs to get on the camera, but I understand
Yes,
real G's move in silence. I get it.
yeah.
But no, I really do. I love what you guys are doing. So how can people, because I'm sure, I mean, you coach, right?
So I started a quick start guide, literally 50 minutes of me teaching you, because I'm a visual person and
Yeah.
I'm very literal. So teaching you step by step how I pull and manage my data and what to do exactly. I have a quick start guide. It's only $67 and it's extremely informative. People are already closing deals just by learning how to pull data on PropStream. So yeah, so everybody can find me on at Marapreneur. So you'll just put it down on your link, Marapreneur, and in Facebook, Mara Garcia. And yeah, I'm here. I just want to scream it to the world, and then also like just teach people simple. Just keep it simple. Do the KISS method, which is keep it simple. I'm not calling you stupid, but I'm just saying it's keep it simple, stupid method. And really, when you guys think about it, like, oh my God, I'm overcomplicating this. No, it's just literally pulling the data, skip trace it, and get on the damn phones until your ears melt. Okay. Like, someone will say yes. It's a numbers game. And this is what I tell my team every single day. This is what I tell myself sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, forget it. There's no more deals out here. Right. And it's like, that's a lie. No, that's just your limiting beliefs. Like, it's there. So anyway, I came up with a quick start guide late of 2024, because a lot of people were asking me, how do you do this? I want to learn from you. And as much as I want to help everyone, like, then I will be sleeping at your house because I won't have time to do my business. So I decided to, just create like a quick guide of that's affordable for anybody to just get started in this business. So yeah, it's always linked in my bio on IG, Facebook, and TikTok. Hopefully TikTok will stay. But yeah, it's always linked there. So
Awesome. I'm gonna put for everybody watching, I'm gonna put that link, those links in the description of this so that you can go get that quick start guide because I would recommend it. If I was just getting started, I would be all over that in a heartbeat because I mean, less than $70 and you can make as much as you need, more
Yes.
than you'll ever need, you know. So yeah, thank you so much for coming
Thank
on
you,
here.
Travis. You're the best. Thank you. God bless you and everybody watching here. Anything is possible. Just please have faith and a lot of hustle. You got this.